Matt the Matt here for another episode podcast. So, last night I went and saw The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. Interesting title. Considering this movie was originally supposed to come out September 11th, 2020. Yes, I said that right. September 11th. Now, why Warner Brothers is going to put this movie out on 9/11 and have the title The Devil Made Me Do It? Very interesting. I think they look at the push back the release date because of COVID and probably thinking, we made the right decision. I'm sure that would have gotten a lot of controversy. So why are you putting a Conjuring movie out on 9/11? Marketing department? Anyway, so we have the new Conjuring movie out. This is not directed by James Wan. James Wan did the first and second Conjuring films. Then he decided to go and play in the action genre with Series 7 and Aquaman. And he's currently about to start shooting Aquaman 2. So, what do I think of The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It? I don't think it's as good as the first two movies in the Conjuring universe. I think it's better than some of the spin-off movies, like Annabelle and The Nun and La Llorona. But I think other than the overall Conjuring films, it's not as good. And it's not as good as Annabelle Creation or Annabelle Comes Home. But let's get into the positives. The first positive, of course, is the main two actors, Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson, returning as Ed and Lorraine Warren. I don't know about you, but these two playing these characters, who Ed and Lorraine Warren are real life people. I can see them returning to these roles again and again and again. I mean, they've already been in 3 Conjuring films, and they even showed up in Annabelle Comes Home in the beginning and then at the end. And they've kind of done about 3 1/4, films in this universe. Vera Farmiga, once again, is great as Lorraine Warren. You forget that she's an actual actress, and you really think, oh, this is Lorraine Warren. She really is Lorraine Warren. Same thing with Patrick Wilson. Patrick Wilson just embodies the character, and their chemistry, you would also think they were a real married couple. So that's no surprise there. I also like in this one they brought back some characters that we haven't seen since the first movie. First, one of their partners in doing like the exorcisms and chronological filming, getting it on recording. This actor right here, coming up, he returns. Sorry, I forgot the name. Also, the priest from the first Conjuring movie returns, and probably has a bigger role in this movie than even the first Conjuring. So it was nice to see familiar faces, or old faces, return again. Also, obviously the Warrens were a big fan of Elvis. We heard Elvis music in the last movie. We heard it a little bit in Annabelle Comes Home. And once again, we have another Elvis song, Suspicious Minds, comes on during one scene in this movie. So it's nice to also still have that Elvis, music, or, one thing I feel like, once again, these characters, these actors are real characters. They're not just acting. They feel like real people, and we're entering into their real lives. And one of the things they loved was Elvis. And it's not a gimmick. It is what it is. Another positive, the opening 10 to 15 minutes of this movie, they actually are dealing with an exorcism right at the beginning of this little boy, like 8 or 9 years old. And it's pretty terrifying. I was even like, oh boy, it got pretty dark, pretty gruesome, pretty... of course, nothing will ever meet The Exorcist. I mean, that is the when you talk about movies you better never remake, I would put, even though they made 100 Exorcism movies, I would say never remake The Exorcist because you can't. It's timeless. I mean, you will never be able to create that movie again. And no Exorcism film has ever come close to that movie. So, but I would say in the first 10 to 15 minutes of this movie, the exorcism that the Warrens deal with is pretty intense. The director, Michael Chavez, who last did La Llorona back in 2019, I remember when he got offered, when we were told that he was going to be directing the next Conjuring, I was disappointed because I didn't like La Llorona. So, well, luckily he does a better job here, both acting, direction, getting the actors, even the new actors I'm going to talk about, getting great performances out of them. The cinematography is really well done. A lot of great shots. And you definitely have an homage to The Exorcist in one scene. That was actually in the trailer too. No, I think Michael Chavez did a better job than he did his first film. So not bad for him. One of the new characters was up-and-coming actresses that I've never heard about or knew about. Sarah Catherine Cook. She plays the girlfriend of Arnie, the teenager. And this is based on a true story about Arnie. Forget the last name. He committed a murder and he said he was possessed by the devil back in 1981. You can go look it up online. It was a real court case. The Warrens had to, defend this boy, teenager, because he said the devil possessed him and made him kill somebody. And Sarah Catherine Cook plays the girlfriend, and she does a great job. I mean, instead of just, playing, my boyfriend's possessed, help him, she really has some really good scenes that show a lot of range. Not just scared, but emotional, funny, romantic. I mean, he does it all in this movie. And for a new actress, and also going up against Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson, she does a very good job. So, it's very interesting where her career goes after this movie. Like I said, I mentioned the cinematography, a lot of good shot compositions, and lighting. I thought really worked well in here, especially not only the darker scenes with the dark lighting, but even just a scene in a morgue in a funeral home was really well lit for its creepiness. So overall, those are my positives. Now to my negatives. Negative number one, the movie and the director and the producers said this movie was going to be a courtroom drama. Nothing like any of the other Conjuring movies. And we only get about 5 minutes of courtroom scenes. Like maybe 1 or 2 minutes after the first 10 minutes of the movie. And then right at the end, I was expecting more of like the exorcism of Emily Rose, where it was mainly a courtroom drama, and then sprinkled in was other stuff that kind of, in that movie, once again, the lawyer was defending the girl who said she was possessed, and she killed herself because, she was possessed. So they were trying to figure out, did she kill herself because she wanted to commit suicide, or did someone actually possess her to commit suicide? And I thought this one was going to be sort of like that, where they're trying to prove Arnie not guilty, that he was possessed, and that's why he killed somebody. And then and then between the courtroom stuff, they were going to show like each side have evidence why he's guilty, why he's not guilty, when it didn't go down that route, it kind of went one thing in a possession route of connecting who might be behind all this, what demon. And I was really kind of disappointed because, it was something different but still the same, all in of itself. Also, after the first 10 minutes of that first exorcism, the film isn't scary. Unlike the first Conjuring and second Conjuring, where you actually knew how scenes that legit scare you. You remember? Yeah. Every time you heard the clapping in that first movie, and then when if you were out and you were at home alone and you heard clapping from somewhere, who didn't freak out? And then even in the second one with the nun painting and it coming out of the picture and, the crooked man and other stuff like that. This one doesn't have really any scares. Which, when you get a Conjuring movie, you would expect some scary moments. Even Annabelle Creation and Annabelle Comes Home have scary moments. And the pacing. This is the second shortest, about 3 minutes longer than the first, about 20 minutes shorter than the second. The pacing in the second act especially was slow. And this is where they kind of went down a subplot that I didn't think needed it. Yeah. Overall, I think The Conjuring 3 is a good film. If you like the Conjuring movies, I still recommend it. If you like seeing Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson as Ed and Lorraine Warren, I recommend it. It's also on HBO Max. Or you can actually go to the theater. Yes. And also, by the way, people, movie theaters, no more masks. You're not mandated to wear a mask in a movie theater anymore. No mask. So, if you're one of those who's like, oh, I don't want to go to the theater, I mean, I gotta wear a mask. You don't gotta wear a mask. No more. So, and I would see this in a theater. If this is a horror film, you get that atmosphere, you get the crowd, and it's a good movie-going experience. Though I would give this movie a 4 out of 5 in terms of my rating here. I think it's the weaker of the Conjuring movies, but still 4 out of 5 max. Is a recommendation here. Go see it. And once again, subscribe to the channel. Attack Matt Productions. Hit the subscribe button. And you can follow our podcast. Thank you.